On October 19th, 2025, the YouTube channel Exploring with Angelo uploaded one of its most unnerving investigations yet. Known for venturing into forgotten structures and rumored haunted wilderness, Angelo's team often finds that solitude invites the supernatural. This time, Angelo and his friend Frank journeyed to a desolate lake near Lake Wanapitei, deep in northern Ontario, hours later than planned. The main campground had closed at 5 p.m., forcing them down narrow, unmarked back roads for another 4-hour drive through emptiness. By the time their headlights pierced the darkness of the abandoned site, it was past 10:30 p.m., the kind of cold that bites through layers. Somewhere beyond the skeletal trees lay a lake whispered to be cursed, a place locals claim is home to shadow figures and a strange ghostly glow that rises from the water. For Angelo and Frank, it was supposed to be another overnight challenge. But this time, the wilderness had other plans. Under the harsh glare of their lights, they began setting up their hot tent, their only shield against the frigid air. Metal struck metal, frost glazed their gloves, and their breath turned to mist. As they unpacked the wood stove, an ominous low growl drifted across the lake, a sound far too deep to be the wind.
I'm gonna start chopping up some wood because we're gonna need some kindling to get this thing started. We want to warm this puppy up as much as possible.
Did you hear that?
What?
I just heard like a growl. Like that way. All jokes aside.
From over there?
That way.
Do you have the
Which is
flashlight on
by
you?
the lake. Well, towards the lake anyway.
Oh, that's good. Starting off with the to a good start, I suppose. We're about to get eaten right away. There, see, I'm hearing it again.
What?
Like someone talking. I don't know what... At first it sounded like it was coming from there. Now it sounds like it's coming from that way. I don't know. Who knows? Now I'm hearing wolves. We don't know if they're wolves or coyotes. Kind of sounded like wolves to me.
Angelo froze, scanning the tree line as his breath fogged in front of him. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. A moment later, faint voices echoed from somewhere beyond the trees, too human to be dismissed, too distant to make sense. They continued working under the flickering beam of the car lights, time dragging past midnight. Eventually the fire crackled to life, filling the tent with welcome warmth. But calm didn't last long. When Frank stepped outside to fetch more firewood, his flashlight caught movement near the shoreline. A quick, fleeting shape that disappeared the instant he focused on it.
Does it sound like something's moving back there?
Yep.
It's like walking, like someone's walking, right?
Ugh, I'm so tired.
I know, me too. I've been on the road literally all day, but... I mean, we keep hearing voices. What if somebody's like down there? Maybe like night fishing or something.
I mean, it could be.
Let's go check. Let's just verify.
I mean, it wouldn't be ideal without lights, but, you know.
I mean, I guess.
Would you want to be out here without a flashlight?
I mean, I guess not.
Or some means of being able to see?
Make sure I have the car keys.
Because it is pitch black, guys. Once we shut off the lights, like, it is
Yeah, it's
black out here.
dark. You ever use this as like a boat launch?
It could be.
Because I'm pretty sure this goes. Oh,
Is there?
there's a.
Oh?
We did not notice that when we got here.
Whoops. Maybe somebody else is camping out here?
There's a trailer.
might make sense of the noise.
That'd be kind of weird if I went to look in the window, but... Oh, there's a fire pit.
So,
Curiosity overcame fear, and they followed the sound toward the water's edge. There they discovered something unsettling. A truck and boat trailer, half hidden by frost, parked beside the ramp. Its registration sticker read 2022. No campfire, no footprints, just the chilling quiet of abandonment. Back inside the tent, they tried to shake it off. Angelo cooked dinner on the wood stove, sausages, spinach, and mushrooms, a small comfort in the growing unease. But before long, the sound returned. Footsteps, slow, heavy, right beside the tent wall.
You hear something outside?
yeah. What the hell's that?
It really sounds like something's walking. Wait. No, it's on this side. Hello? That was weird.
That was very weird.
What's interesting, I know I haven't explained the story yet. I'm about to get to it just after we finish eating because we're starving. But apparently that's a thing that happens here. Like people hear like movement, like walking around the town. I just really don't feel like checking right now because, well, I'm eating. If I do see something, the food may go flying. See if we hear it again. That was my stomach, but I swear it sounded like a rock like smashed or something.
That was definitely a rock.
Right? Okay, now I'm confused. That was running.
What the hell? Okay, now I'm curious.
Right? Hello? Someone out there? That was weird. What was that?
I don't know.
As they ate, Angelo recalled eerie local legends about the lake. Stories of dark figures drifting between trees and a luminous spirit hovering above the water. He had barely finished when a sudden laugh echoed outside. Not the wind, not an animal. It was distinctly human. They grabbed their lights and rushed out, but the clearing was empty. Only the same abandoned truck remained, still untouched. Determined to get answers, Angelo switched on the spirit box. The device hissed with static before a warped voice crackled through. Lily. To be frank, the woods. Both men froze, paralyzed by dread. They retreated inside, where the night grew unbearably silent. Could those voices belong to living campers? Maybe. But no one ever came back for that truck. The growl, the footsteps, the laughter, each too deliberate, too close. Perhaps the legends of Lake Wanapiti weren't folklore at all. When dawn broke, the truck was still there. No tracks, no movement. Only that same heavy stillness over the cursed water. And if no one returned for it, who or what was laughing outside their tent that night? The forest isn't just a backdrop for the man behind creepy outdoors. It's his proving ground. His channel captures the raw reality of solo survival. Camping far beyond civilization, where silence itself becomes the enemy. Unlike typical outdoor creators, he focuses less on gear and more on the mental warfare that comes with total isolation. Viewers often ask the same haunting question. How does he stay calm when surrounded by the unknown? His answer is simple but unsettling. Shut down imagination before it consumes you. Always assume the most rational outcome to avoid panic, the kind that leads to deadly mistakes. On this trip, he ventured deep into the unforgiving Canadian wilderness, where every snapped twig could mean something watching. After trudging through mud and settling on a camp spot, he began to prepare for nightfall. But as the sun sank, that familiar sense of being watched began to crawl back in. Once he found a defensible spot, he started building a fire. And that's when the stillness shattered. A sharp crack echoed from the darkness, a sound far too heavy to be the wind. In a forest like this, a breaking branch can mean a deer, a bear, or something far less natural. And that sound should never be taken lightly.
Just gotta make a fire. I feel a lot better when I got a fire going. What the hell is that? This is a decent spot. I'm gonna go gather some wood. I'm gonna make a little fire, have a nice beer. I heard something cracking in the woods. Now, if you live in Canada, when you hear something cracking, a branch cracking, it doesn't usually mean a small animal. It's usually a deer, a bear, anything of that sort. So it should never be taken lightly when you hear a branch breaking. All right, I'm gonna gather some wood. I'll see you guys then.
Despite the rising dread, he did what instinct demanded. He focused on the essentials, stripping birch bark and coaxing a flame to life. The campfire flickered, casting a fragile bubble of warmth and light against the suffocating dark. But the woods refused to stay silent. What was that? He slowly turned, scanning the entire perimeter, the fire snapping behind him. Yet the faint, deliberate footsteps, or whatever they were, kept moving through the trees. He tossed more wood onto the fire, praying its glow would keep whatever lingered at bay. The noises grew sharper, louder, and closer, almost circling him now. It no longer felt like nature. It felt like a haunting.
What? Hello? What the is going on? Crap. Hello? I better get some more branches. I don't like what I'm hearing. The bigger my fire, if there's a deer or something or a bear around, the fire should scare it. If I keep hearing those noises, I don't know how long I'll stay. If you're not used to the force, like I said earlier in the video, when you hear a branch cracking in the woods, it means it's something heavy.
The wilderness seemed alive, toying with him, as if the forest itself enjoyed his unease. He clung to his rule of logic, forcing himself to believe it was just a curious animal. But a darker thought began to creep in. What if it wasn't? What if a human, or something not entirely human, was out there watching? The air thickened, carrying the weight of an unseen presence. Even while narrating, he reminded himself, and his viewers, that fear is the real predator here. Let the mind spiral into worst-case fantasies, and the panic will do what no beast needs to. That's how the supernatural wins, by making you believe.
You know, a lot of people ask me in the comments how can I manage to stay calm while you're out in the woods? And I spoke about it a bit without going too much in details, but it's really important to shut down the imagination. You just have to focus on what's in front of you. You know, earlier we heard some branches cracking. You always got to think the best case scenario. Sure, worst case will make you prepare. But when you always think the worst case scenario, that's when you start freaking out. You start acting stupid. You're not yourself when you're scared and acting stupid. You're gonna have to get some more wood for that.
Then, suddenly, the sound stopped. The forest fell silent as though the darkness itself had swallowed the intruder whole. He stayed still, listening, but there was nothing. No breathing, no footsteps, just rain and wind. When he finally exhaled, it was a slow, shaky breath of victory. He had survived the night, not by fighting a monster, but by mastering his own fear. It was a haunting test of willpower in a place where few dare to sleep alone. He proved that survival isn't just about tools or fire. It's about keeping your mind steady when the forest feels alive. So what do you think really happened out there? Was it just nature playing tricks? Or something far more supernatural lurking just beyond the light? Sort of Interesting is a UK-based camping YouTuber best known for his quiet escapes into nature. Nights filled with rain, solitude, and the soft glow of a campfire. His channel celebrates the peace of the outdoors, simple gear, calm setups, and the kind of silence most people never experience. But in this particular upload, his very first solo wild camp would turn from peaceful to unsettling in ways he didn't expect. At first, everything felt normal. Dan, the man behind the channel, hiked through the misty woods, chatting to the camera about his equipment and plans for the night. The forecast promised a cold, wet evening, the perfect test of endurance. Yet, as it turned out, the storm outside wasn't the only thing he needed to brace for. Something else was waiting in the dark.
So I've been walking for about an hour at this point, and it really is amazing the difference that the backpack has made. And also the fact I'm using a much dimmer light is starting to make me think I'm sure I can hear stuff and see little flashes and that. I'm sure I can't, but I can't be sure in here where I need to be. So yeah, quick backpack rest, and then we're going to get, in fact I might get the stove out now, find a spot on the way ahead. At this point I thought I would see if I could find a nice big flat stone or somewhere safe that I could set up my stove and make myself some pasta, pesto and cheese, and also lose a bit of weight from my backpack while doing so. And so I thought, yeah, put the torch onto full beam and get some visually interesting spooky woodland footage. And well, did I get some spooky footage.
As Dan trekked deeper into the forest, the energy around him began to change. The wind grew harsher, twisting through the trees with a low, eerie hum. The forest canopy thickened, turning the path ahead into near blackness. Dan laughed nervously, joking about how creepy the place felt after dark. But his nervous humor couldn't hide what his instincts already knew. Something about this night felt wrong. He wasn't alone.
Dim lights only now. I was just shining the torch round on full beam, showing like the woods to the camera. Some car somewhere on a road up there stopped, and I swear a torch shone into the trees, obviously from well above my head, but it's just spooked me a bit. Oh man, my heart is going. I swear the car that I just mentioned pulled up and somebody's got out. I don't know if it's just coincidence, myself that, but I am really, oh my goodness me. I know. This isn't fun, this. I am so stupid. I am the stupidest person I don't know if you can see that they are literally scanning up and down. They are literally... Can you see this on the ground? They're literally looking straight at me. I know. I don't know what to do. I'm literally crouched. I'm sat on the ground.
Without warning, the stillness was shattered by the sound of gravel crunching. A car came to an abrupt stop just beyond the tree line. A man stepped out, flashlight in hand, sweeping its harsh beam through the branches like he was searching for someone. Dan froze. You can hear the tremor in his whisper as he speaks to the camera, trying not to make a sound. The beam passed dangerously close to his position before drifting away again. After several tense moments, Dan decided to retreat quietly toward the main trail, heart pounding in his chest. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the car's engine roared back to life, and it drove off into the night.
I'm about 90% certain they drove in that direction. I decided to proceed along the road on my intended route to escape into the hills as quick as possible, but use my red light so that I was far less visible at a distance. And I'll be honest, at this point I've got that horrible adrenaline sensation in my chest, and I've got loads of video recorded from this section, but I'm just constantly talking, I think, trying to reassure myself and make myself feel better and calmer. So of course, when I get to the hills, we've got really bad weather starting to roll in, proper thick fog coming in and blowing through in patches. Obviously the last place you want low visibility is near any cliff tops. So in the end I was like, right, I just need something to eat. I'm so hungry, I've been on my feet all day, and in the end on this day I walked 16 miles overall. So I found a nice little sheltered area and the weather started to hold off and ease up a bit. So it was that, worn out and worried, I took a moment to just gather myself, get a grip, and generally calm down and think sensibly about what my plan for the rest of the night and the morning was going to be. In typical fashion,
Dan managed to slip away unseen, his small red headlamp barely cutting through the darkness as he found another, safer place to set up camp. He ended the night there, exhausted but unharmed. The forest once again silent around him. Still, that lingering unease never left. Who was that man? Why was he wandering the woods in the dead of night, shining a light into the trees? Some viewers suggested it could have been a lost traveler or local hunter. Others weren't so sure. Maybe it wasn't just a man at all. Maybe it was something far more supernatural. A presence drawn to Dan's quiet campsite in the haunted dark of the forest. February 3rd, 2023. In the icy hills of northern England, Claire, the creator behind the YouTube channel Wild Bear, began another one of her solo survival journeys. Her mission sounded simple: locate an abandoned stone hut and transform it into a one-night shelter, using nothing but a single tarp, despite warnings of an incoming storm. After hours of hiking through rugged terrain, she finally found it. A small ruin made of stacked grey stone, its roof long gone, open to the dark sky. Setting down her pack, Claire started clearing debris, her breath fogging in the cold air as she worked quickly to claim the space before nightfall. She had no idea that this ordinary wild camp would soon take a far darker turn. One that her viewers would later describe as unnervingly supernatural.
Glad I bought the bigger tarp. I'll be using that, and I've got the small tarp as backup in case something bad happens to this one. Lots of pegs. I've got some Titan ground anchors as well because I think it's going to be windy. These are my guy lines, and I've got lots of spare lightweight paracord as well, so hopefully we can put something together with that.
Gonna go out the corners first.
and then we'll add some more on as well. It's starting to rain and I haven't got it up yet. And it's a bit of a nightmare actually because it keeps trying to take off like a parachute and I've already ripped my tarp because I was using rocks to try and hold it down while I pegged it in and it's ripped it. So 4 corner pegs in, let's put more in, get it tied down better. Oh, it's quite cool actually. Alright, we definitely need more guys on this or it's just going to fly off. Yay! Oh dear, it's up. That was hard work, really hard work. I've ripped my tarp in 2 places. The guy lines were a nightmare to put into the ground because it's all rock, just can't get the pegs in, so they're basically being held down by big rocks and there was no point bringing these because there's no ground for them to go into, but I think it's pretty sturdy. It seems to be holding up nice at the moment and it's a lovely little nook inside. So of course you can't weigh the top down with rocks to hold the tarp down because if the wind catches it, the rocks could land on your head and kill you. So don't do that, use guy lines. Here I am in my amazing little nook. Now that it's up, I really love it, but that was difficult. I've wrecked my tarp, I've absolutely battered it, and that is no fault of the tarp at all. It's because I've been dragging it against really sharp rocks. So if it holds up during the night without sort of tearing all across the middle, that will be amazing. So I think I'm going to get my stuff set out now. It is about 3:15, so I guess it will be dark in about 45 minutes. I'm all set up for the night. Let me show you around. So my sleep system is all set up. I've got my sit mat, my ground tarp, that's a DD Magic carpet. It's my clothes, electronics, filming stuff. Got my food here, cook set, water. This is unfiltered water in the bottles. And I've got my Life Straw filter bottle, so when I want to drink, just fill that up with water. It's coming down a bit now, just slightly. I'm going to get my dinner started because I am Marvin and going to get my nice warm clothes on. I fashioned a little hanging light so I can move my light around wherever I want it. Yeah, it's really... That dinner, so good. So it's about 6 o'clock I think, and sunrise is at 8:30 tomorrow morning, so we got a lot of dark now, which is fine by me. I'm really looking forward to just getting in my little sleep system, being all cozy, just listening to the rain, sleeping as much as I want and having no alarm. That is so comfy. It's bliss. I can just lay here, watch my tarp fly away into oblivion.
From the very start, the tarp resisted her efforts. Each gust of wind twisted it violently, as if the forest itself didn't want her there. At one point, she placed a heavy rock to secure the edge, only for a thin tear to appear, small but sharp, like something had pulled back from the other side. Still, Claire pressed on, tightening ropes and knots until the shelter finally held. Inside, the glow of her camp stove painted the stone walls a warm orange. She spoke softly to her camera about the incoming rain, trying to sound calm. By 6 p.m., the valley outside was nothing but blackness, swallowed whole by the storm. 10 guy lines secured her tarp against the growing wind. The rain came harder, slamming against the thin roof. Steady at first, then relentless. Drips turned to trickles, seeping through seams, chilling the air. That's when the mood shifted, as if the entire mountain had started to breathe.
Being dry in my sleep system. My foot end of the bivy bag is getting wet. Everything by the door is getting wet because the rain's coming in the doorway. It's 8 o'clock now. I'm just chilling, watching a film on my phone and listening to the craziness. That's just gonna keep ripping now. I don't think this is gonna hold out till morning. Oh dear. That's not good. It's gonna be an interesting night. I don't know if you can see that, but the top's gone. It's gone. It's just ripped off. It's flapping around, so I've decided to pack up and go to my car. I think it's about 10 o'clock. Is it? Yeah. While it's not raining, I'm gonna get packed up and yeah, I'm gonna sleep in my car because no. That didn't work. It didn't work. Getting this away real quick before the rain starts again. And then can make our way down real slowly and carefully. It's not always the right decision to pack up and go when it's dark, but it's a full moon, so it's light. I've got plenty of head torches and whatnot, and it's easy, straightforward. 2 kilometres. Just got to take it slow. Let's get down from here. Just going to take it nice and slow. No rush, because it's nice and easy. Just got to slip really and really look where I'm going. So, yeah. Down at the stream. So, cross this and then we're back on the path. Here we are. Here's the path. Okay, good. Well, I don't think I've ever seen a waterfall in the dark before, so that's quite cool.
Around 8 p.m., the camera picked up a new sound, a long, low tear echoing directly above her. The tarp had ripped open. Suddenly, chaos. Flapping fabric, rushing rain, her supplies drenched in seconds. By 10 o'clock, shivering and soaked to the bone, Claire made the only choice she could. She packed what she could salvage and stepped into the storm, beginning the long, freezing descent back down the mountain, utterly alone. When dawn returned, so did she. What she found left her speechless. The tarp was shredded into ribbons, each piece sliced cleanly by the jagged stone edges. It wasn't the wind, she whispered to the camera. It was the stone itself. Many praised her for leaving before things got worse. But as she stood, staring at those silent ruins, one couldn't help but feel that something, or someone, had been waiting there, watching, long after the storm had passed. A haunting reminder that sometimes the wilderness hides more than just the weather.